Good morning, everyone. How's everybody feeling after this full moon in Aries called the Hunter's Moon or the Blood Moon? It's been a pretty intense time, hasn't it? I know I'm not the only one. I was actually watching someone kind of last night, and they were saying, God, everybody is getting their period on this full moon. And I was like, oh, I haven't, that's weird. And then I got my period. So super weird. I was not supposed to. So yeah, this is a very, very, very powerful moon. Even if you didn't get your period, whatever, even if you don't bleed, doesn't matter. We are being called into the cycles of the moon, the cycles of the wheel that turns forevermore, right? We're remembering these cycles, especially as we come into Samhain, which is where we really say goodbye to something and we let something die so that it can be transformed into something new. And the Coven will be having a Samhain event. I will be posting that. It's going to be a pretty big event, I think, just because this is a really important Samhain. So like I said, it's called the Blood Moon or the Hunter's Moon, and I really love that because we're really coming down to the nitty gritty, right? That last bit of clearing that needs to happen before we can rise from the ashes like the phoenix, right? So I hope y'all are harnessing the fire energy within you. I know I have. The two cards that we got were, I just felt like pulling just one card from two different decks, but the first card is Strength, which is of course ruled by Leo, right? So we're called to be warriors right now, right? I told some of the close members of the Coven yesterday to don your armor of love, right? So this is the tolling of the bells before the tower fall, right? And I've talked about this before, but the tower is gonna fall, right? There are times where we can put our energy into repairing the foundation, trying to maintain, but this is not one of those times. This is a tower fall time, right? This is a shift in paradigm, right? So we are being asked to be warriors of the goddess, warriors of the dark goddess. I have my Kali statue here, which of course everyone knows is my chief deity, her and Aphrodite. And I just want to say I love this statue because instead of I love that she's fierce, you know what I mean? That is a part of the dark goddess, right? Whether you want to call her Ereshkigal, Kali, whatever. But she also just has this peaceful face, right? So I just want you to know that yes, there is death coming, a death of something that no longer serves, right? The fall of a tower that no longer needs to stand. Why put our energy into maintaining this tower that needs to fall, right? We need to start over from and learn our lessons from this past age. But anyway, I say this because the dark goddess brings life as well. She brings peace. She brings togetherness, right? So we need to remember that. It's not all doom, gloom, and, that in death is life, and in life is death. They're two sides of the same coin, and the whole journey, right, of Inanna and Ereshkigal, which, if you haven't read this book, is amazing. But the whole journey of Inanna and Ereshkigal was to remember, it says at the end of the poem, "Holy Ereshkigal, sweet is your praise," right? Like to remember that these two sides of the same coin are the most beautiful part of life, right? That they're both beauty, that they're both love, they're both spirit. Okay, so embracing the turning of the wheel, embracing the tower, right? How can we say, Holy Tower, sweet is your praise, right? Holy Ereshkigal, sweet is your praise. So the second card from the Crow Tarot deck that I got was the King of Wands. Okay, so another fire energy, right? Of course, Aries is a fire sign, so that makes sense. But something that kept coming to me was not letting yourself feel anger. Again, the dark goddess in our society was stashed away. Like, you couldn't show feelings, always had to be rational. You can't, get upset. You can't get mad. And just a little personal story. I had been, just like talking with someone, and they just like kept overstepping my boundaries again and again. And I finally was I always was like, I need to like maintain rationality and like just whatever. And I finally let myself get upset, right? Like I finally was just like, no, you do this over and over again. It's not okay, right? So this is, a part of embracing that fire energy, right? And that dark goddess energy, which we're 2 days, or I guess 1 day away now, I'm not sure, from entering, the sun entering into Scorpio, right? Scorpio is the sign of the dark goddess and of alchemy, right? So using that fire as the spark to move you forward. And set boundaries and say, I am enough. I am enough. And I'm not going to let this happen anymore, right? So we're doing that on a personal level, but we're also, as you can see, doing it on a collective level, right? We're finally saying to the patriarchy, whereas like before it was just like, okay, like I'm just gonna maintain my rationality here. Like, no, we need to embrace that wildness again, right? But we can use it just like a car uses a spark to move, to use that gasoline to move forward, right? So what is gasoline? It's old bones and, it's death. Right? And so we can use that anger, that passion as the spark to move us forward, right? We don't always have to maintain what the patriarchy said. You know what I mean? Like, we can cry. We can get upset. There's nothing wrong with that, right? It's when you let it consume you. It's when you let your anger consume you, right? That you fall into kind of pieces. And honestly, sometimes we need that in order to rise up from the ashes, right? I told you this is Phoenix energy, right? Sometimes we need the thing to burn. Okay, like I kept having this image of me like leaving this old me and rising, and I was scared to leave this old me because I was like, oh, I don't want to leave her, right? But by rising, right, I free her too. By staying in the grave, we both stay in our shackles. And this is a time to break shackles. This is a time to break our chains, right? Because we know what they are now. We know who we are now. We did the descent journey. We came into contact with our truest selves. And now we stand. We stand for the truth. Okay, so I just want to talk about a little bit because my North Node is in Aries, and it just reminded me of where we're headed with this full moon. It seemed like a guiding light. I looked out the window this morning, and it was still just big and full and looking straight at me, and it just seemed to be like leading me onward, like saying, "Follow me," So I just want to read some of the goals of the North Node in Aries, because this does seem to be a guiding light, a tolling of the bells to lead us on as warriors. Like the goddess is saying, come this way, follow me, I'll lead you, I'll protect you, but don your armor. It's time to stand. It's time to stand for the earth. It's time to stand for the dark goddess, for everything that they've tried to kill and shove away, but could never die. Our spirit can never die, right? So some of the goals of a North Node in Aries are self-reflection, self-love, right? Instead of just giving all your love to others, right? Because opposite of Aries is Libra, so South Node in Libra would be, just constantly looking for validation outside of yourself, for love outside of yourself, right? So it's about self-love. It's about knowing who you are, right? A lot of things that I was reading yesterday and that totally vibed with me were just like, I just like standing your ground and knowing who you are. I follow a lot of poly pages because that's something that I've discovered about myself. And it was just saying, yeah, sometimes it's dangerous to come out of the closet. Sometimes people can't, but if you can be brave enough to come out of the closet and live your truest life, live, your authentic life, you're going to inspire others to do the same. You're going to let other people know, like, this is okay, right? By living your truest, most authentic life, by loving yourself that much, you inspire others to do the same. So you're healing yourself, but you're healing the collective as well, right? So another thing is assertiveness, like I was talking about before. That's another guiding goal of North Node in Aries, is being assertive, saying like, these are my boundaries, and I deserve better. Right? Like, I'm sorry. I'm not just going to let people use me. I'm not just going to let people walk all over me. I know who I am. I know what, I deserve. It's surrounding yourself with people, places, things that allow you to be your truest, authentic self, and everything else, cast it into the fires. I mean, right? The last new moon, and this whole moon cycle has been very interconnected. Like I said, full moon, the last full moon in Pisces, the new moon in Libra, to this full moon in Aries really feels super interconnected. So the last new moon was in Libra, and it's a real focus on justice. Right? And like I said, the Hall of Truths last time in my last video, we were really coming into the Hall of Truths, and I saw, the gods that are in the Hall of Truths standing there with the Book of the Dead. What does the Book of the Dead do but resurrect? Right? It's a whole instruction manual on resurrection, on death and resurrection, right? So we are putting our heart, our truest selves on one side of the scale, and on the other side of the scale is the feather, right? And everything that does not match this feather, right? Because we're moving into an age of air, the age of Aquarius, right? All of these planets, moving into air, just this whole years and years of air energy. Right? So we need to have our hearts match the feather. And how do we do that? Well, we do that by living our authentic truth, our truest lives, right? So everything else, as you know, in the Hall of Truths, everything else that does not match that feather gets thrown to the ancient goddess, the ancient one, right? So it gets thrown into the fire, and the crocodile goddess in Egyptian mythology, and she eats it, right? And that's what dark goddesses do. They eat what no longer serves. They transmute it. They use it as fuel, the gasoline in your car, right? It becomes the fuel that helps you to grow, that helps us to move forward. So these things, another thing about anger, and dealing with all of that right now, because I know a lot of anger is coming up right now, is how do you transmute that? How do you use it as something that pushes you forward? Well, the alchemy of anger is forgiveness, right? Realizing that these things had to happen in order for us to learn, in order for us to move forward, that ultimately everything is love, right? So I've said before, but forgiveness doesn't mean just becoming a doormat. It doesn't mean like just like, oh yeah, everything you did was okay. No. That's not what it's about. Let yourself feel that angry. But forgiveness is freeing yourself from those chains of constantly consuming, like those flames constantly consuming you. So assertiveness. And another thing is trusting the self. So trusting your inner voice, trusting yourself, not what everybody's telling you, all the little ears around, right? Because while you're moving into that age of Aquarius energy, the Aquarius is the different part of you, right? Like it's the part that's like not everybody's going to agree with, right? But it is inventive, and it's new, and people are afraid of new things. They're afraid of the tower fall. They're afraid of the wheel. Right? Because we've been taught in this age of patriarchy to do that, but like trusting your own heart, trusting your own inner compass, and moving forward, creating new roads that have never been there before, right? That's what North Node in Aries is about. So leading the way, trusting your negative emotions, it says, leadership. So where are you where are you leading? Everybody's a leader in some sort of way. Yes, we all, and we're also, followers as well. There's no one guru, right? Like we're all gurus. We all have to lead in some sort of way. So where are you leading the way in the age of Aquarius? Where are you leading the way? Because we need you. We need you to show the way forward in that way. Okay? So interdependence instead of codependence. I've talked about that a lot, right? Like, having relationships that allow you to be authentically you and not to feel imprisoned. At this time last year, I said I was at the edge of the ocean, and I thought of the orca, and I thought of how we keep the orca in our society in this little bathtub, this little prison, right? Like, and if we put that orca into the ocean, into like a little holding area in the ocean, before she could jump to her freedom, I'm sure she would be afraid, because all she's known is this little bathtub, all she's known is this little prison. Right? So to her, that might feel like home in a way, even though it's terrible. But she needs to trust her like inner compass or inner guidance towards freedom. Right? So once she takes that leap of faith into the ocean, she can meet up with her soul tribe, right? She can live this free life. And that's what we're moving towards, relationships that allow you to also be free. Like we aren't just giving ourselves up for everybody else anymore. We're not doing it. So this is just a little poem at the end of this North Node, and it just says, so I think this is the kind of guiding light for this full moon. You can read all the books that ever have been written. You can ask of those around you to show you the way. You can study the mysteries a long time hidden, but you're the only one who can take you through the judgment day. And you can't rely on anyone else for glory. Don't depend on the outside to show you the way. Put away the books, go beyond the brain, trust the light within to guide you through the pain, and you're the only one who could ever know what it takes to make you whole. And it's the light within you that'll guide you through the judgment day. Right? So we're being called, and that, as we know, the judgment day card in tarot is we're being called out of our graves. Okay? The trumpet is being sounded. The tower is going to fall. And we are going to rise from the ashes like the phoenix. Okay? And you're the only one you can trust to bring you out of that grave. Trust. Trust that you ascending is you freeing everything. Everything. Even the stuff that needs to die and be transmuted, right? Okay, so we're going to do a little poem reading and then a little meditation, and then we'll kind of close out. All right, guys? Okay, so I just want you guys to ground in. I want you to feel your warrior stance. Luna, goddess of the moon, is leading us forward. Our truth has been found, and now we must be loyal, brave, and true. True to this new world, true to the goddess, true to ourselves. I want you to see you putting on your armor of love. Because ultimately this is what this battle is for love. Love of the earth, love of each other, love of the universe. Love that unites us all. Love that allows us to both ground in and to ascend. Love is both death and life, two sides of the same coin. And until we embrace both, we have not fully lived. For in dying, we are reborn. And in living, we are allowed to die. Let that which no longer serves be cast into the flames of transmutation. Let the fire that ignites within you now, the anger, the passion that moves you forward, allow that to ignite all of the trauma, all of the compost, so that we can move forward. You are a warrior of love, a warrior of light, a warrior of this new age. You are divinely guided and protected. So let the sun rise. Let yourself grieve all that which needs to be cast into the fire, but then look towards the dawn and move towards this new life. We are no longer going to be stuck in our graves. We are no longer going to be shackled in these chains. We are going to be moving forward, rising up out of this grave. Baker woman God, I am your living bread, strong, brown, baker woman God. I am your low, soft, and being-shaped loaf. I am your rising bread, well kneaded by some divine and naughty pair of knuckles. By your warm earth hands, I am bread well kneaded. Put me in fire, baker woman God. Put me in your own bright fire. I am warm, warm as you from fire. I am white and gold, soft and hard, brown and round. I am so warm from fire. Break me, baker woman God. I am broken under your caring word. Drop me and your special juice in pieces. Drop me in your blood. Drunken me in the great red flood. Self-giving chalice swallow me. My skin shines in the divine wine. My face is cup-covered and I drowned. I fall up in a red pool, in a gold world, where your warm sun-skin hand is there to catch and hold me. Baker woman God, remake. By Alla Renee Bosworth. Slow motion prayer. Get real quiet and listen in. Keep going. You'll notice before long some small tendril of desire wrapped around the minerals that make you. Feel it pull up through your core like a river of blue opal, laced through boulder stone. Let the breath lift and dance you as bending grass dances with fragrant wind. We know that longing can hurt, but realize it matters. Your longing is slow motion prayer. Remember that the world too is longing for you to get out of your own holy way. So raise yourself up, hands open and heart first. We live on the wild edge of death and birth. It's up to us to begin again. Your belonging matters more than ever. Every small dream of a thriving world is one note in the new song, one thread in the new story, one cell in this earth body pulsing towards vitality. By Emily Kadar. So I want you to see the tower in your mind's eye. Where are you in that tower? Are you in the inner core, scared, hearing the rumbling all around you? Are you at the window, shaking? Are you at the window ready to leap, to take a leap of faith into the waters beneath? Are you outside the tower, watching it fall? You have to be somewhere during this tower fall. But I'll let you know that we're never going back to before. The tower will fall. The crack has been made. And each one of us, by living our authentic truth, takes a piece out of that tower, out of that dam, and allows the rivers to flow. So I want you to feel blessed by the goddess, the leader of this revolution. I want you to feel like you're being knighted by her in your armor of love. This full moon in Aries is the tolling of the bells, a call to battle, a call to throw away all that which no longer serves, to leave in the grave what needs to turn into compost, and to rise up out of the grave. I want you to feel blessed by the goddess now and know that you are divinely protected. I want you to feel every piece of armor, and I want you to hear the call. This is the tolling of the bells. Six for the darkness, and 6 for the light, and 1 for your beautiful soul, interconnected with all others. Blessed be, dear ones. The last thing I want to talk about is we pulled Diana. So I just want to talk about her a little bit. Obviously she's a warrior goddess. Look at her there with her bow and arrows. Okay. She's surrounded by hound dogs, and what are dogs but related to wolves? Okay. So let your inner wildness come out. And don't be ashamed of it. Don't be ashamed. Sometimes a wolf is playful. Sometimes they're fun. Sometimes they're growling. Okay. And standing their ground. And that all of it is good, okay? You don't have to be this way or the other. Let yourself be wild, let yourself be true, let yourself be free. Follow that intuition. What are dogs and wolves but intuition? Follow your intuition. Follow your heart, not what everybody's saying, okay? She's also a goddess, a protector of women and children. She's the goddess of the moon, right? And like I said, that moon just felt like it was calling to me. It just felt like it was saying, like, come forward. Come towards me now. Don your armor and let's go. Okay? So it also says, I just want to read this really quick. Do you feel you've become too reliant on someone else or gotten too entangled in other people's affairs? Is the relationship smothering you? Do you need some time and space to yourself? If so, Diana can show you how to be more independent and to stand up for yourself with confidence. She'll teach you how to care for others without losing yourself in the process. Let her guide you into the woods that represent your own inner nature and show you how to connect with your natural wildness. Diana can also assist women during pregnancy, so we're giving birth to this new world, right? And help mothers care responsibly for their children without limiting their freedom. So, interdependence, like we were talking about earlier, instead of codependence, right? All right, you guys. Love, 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 love. Thank you for coming today. The circle is open, yet never unbroken. May the love of the goddess be ever in your heart. Merry meet and merry part and merry meet again. Love you.